Hello everyone, welcome all of you once again. And today I will discuss with you RBI, Reserve Bank of India, which is the central bank of our country. Okay, so let's start with context of the video. What will be the context? First of all, we will see the evolution of RBI, how it came into existence. After that, official structure of RBI, and then functions of RBI. It is the most important part. So let's start with evolution of RBI. It is the simple chart. Here I will read out it here for you, and I will also tell you that how the question may be framed from this portion of this video, from evolution of RBI. So in 1926, Royal Commission on Indian Currency, which is also called Hilton Young Commission, it recommended about setting up a central bank named Reserve Bank of India. So there may be a question that Hilton Young Commission is related to which of the following. So there will be four options. Answer will be either RBI or either Royal Commission on Indian Currency. The question from this point may also be asked from modern India subject. Okay. So in 1929, Great Depression was there in USA. So around 450 plus banks in India collapsed. So British government became serious about the setting up of RBI, and in 1924 Reserve Bank of India Act was enacted. So there may also be a question that RBI was enacted from which of the following. So to confuse the aspirant examiner, right here Government of India Act 1935. There may also be a option in the question, so it is wrong because a separate act was created Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 for to creation of RBI. In 1935 April, RBI becomes operation from 1st of April with Governor Sir Osborne Smith. So who was the first governor of RBI? Osborne Smith. Please wrote this name. There may be a question from here also that who was the first governor? Osborne Smith. After that, 1935 July, commercial banks fulfilling certain conditions listed under second schedule. Okay, so you can see SCB means scheduled commercial bank in today's time. So which are the SCB or scheduled commercial banks? Those banks who are listed under this schedule means second schedule of RBI, and such scheduled bank were required to keep CRR with RBI, and we will just see the about CRR, what is the cash reserve ratio. So we will see it in functions of RBI. After that, in 1943 to 49, C.D. Deshmukh becomes the first Indian governor of RBI, who was also the second finance minister of India. C.D. Deshmukh was also second finance minister, and he was the first Indian governor of RBI. He also participated in Bretton Woods conference, which was held in 1944. So WTO, sorry, IMF and World Bank, both of these are result of Bretton Woods conference, or these both bodies are also called Bretton Woods twins. Okay, so 1948-49, all private investors is transferred to government of India under RBI transfer of ownership and act. So it has not so much significance this point at. And 1949 Banking Regulation Act empowered the RBI to give license to companies to open banks. Okay, so here is a different act, Banking Regulation Act, which empowered RBI to give license to different banks to open branch or expand their branches. Okay, so this is the evolution of RBI we have seen, and it was also nationalized in this year only. 1949 RBI was nationalized. It came under Government of India. 100% stake of RBI is possessed by Government of India only. Now I am coming to RBI Central Board of Directors. So under the RBI Act, there are 16 non-official members. There may be 16 non-official members, out of which 2 government officials, 10 director nominated by government, whoever it may be, an eminent economist may be here. After that, 4 directors from RBI's local board. There are 4 west, east, north, and south also. There are 4 local boards: west, east, north, and south. So here is the number 16. There may be 15, 14, 12 at a time. It is not necessary that 16 member always be there, but maximum number of members will be 16 only. And in the official directors, there may be 5, means 1 governor plus 4 deputy governors. one governor plus 4 deputy governors. Recently, Swami Vishwanathan Sahab retired, gave his resignation before 3 months of his retire. So at present, only three deputy governor are there and one governor. Who is governor? Shaktikanta Das. Then three governors are here. You can see their names. Okay. So maximum deputy governor 4 plus 1 governor. Now here is you can see governor, deputy and three deputy governor. So here is also a provision that any two out of four, any two deputy governor will be from here only. Means if a assistant general manager, then deputy general manager, chief general manager, principal chief executive director, then deputy governor. Means by the process of promotion, there will be two deputy governor and two deputy governor will be nominated by or appointed by government of India. So how they appointed? Their tenure is 3 years. Reappointment is possible for any governor, deputy governor. Deputy governor may be governor also. They are selected by Financial Sector Regulatory Appointment Research Committee. Keep in mind this name, FSRASC, headed by Cabinet Secretary. So who select FSRASC? Means there are 10 applications for governor, deputy governor. So out of these 10, 5 will be selected or 4 will be selected by this committee only, which is headed by cabinet secretary, who is an IS rank officer. After successful candidates names sent to appointment committee of cabinet headed by prime minister for final approval, and from there the RBI governor or deputy governor gets appointed. Okay, so 3-year tenure, reappointment possible, and it is the process of their appointment. After that, RBI offices and department, we must not worry so much about department. I have said if you are preparing for RBI B grade exam, then you must go through the website of RBI and look after all the departments of RBI. If you are preparing for SSC exam or any other exam, then don't bother about department of RBI. Just look a simple view. What I am saying that RBI has 4 regional offices, northern Delhi में, eastern Kolkata में, southern Chennai में, and western Mumbai में. Then RBI has various department looking after banks, NBFCs, payment system, foreign exchange management, etc. It implies that RBI is functioning. RBI has many functions which it have to deliver. So for every function there is a different department. Okay, new enforcement department was set up in RBI for centralized action against violator. If any banking system is violating its rule, to look after these type of banks, enforcement department was created, which is totally different from enforcement directorate, which is come under finance ministry of India. Okay, so it was about the official status of RBI or official position of RBI officials. Now I am coming to functions of RBI. So about functions of RBI, it is sole authority to issue currency. If we leave out 1 rupee note, which is signed by Finance Secretary of India, all of the note is signed by all of the note, either 2, 5, 10, 20, 100, 500, 2000 notes. All of them are signed by RBI governor, and the currency is printed by RBI only. So it is the sole authority to issue currency. Now controller of money supply, we will see all of the monetary policy tools to control the money supply. It is also the custodian of foreign exchange through FEMA. Here I will not teach you about FEMA because it is the topic of, you can say, foreign exchange or balance of payment or foreign trade. Okay, so I will only tell you about the foreign exchange. What is the foreign exchange or forex reserve? What is the forex reserve of India? It contains foreign currency. Second one, gold reserve. Third one, SDR. What is SDR? Special drawing rights. Its full form is special drawing rights, and it is the representative currency of IMF. What is SDR? It is the representative currency of IMF, and SDR includes dollar, euro, yen, dollar, euro, yen, and renminbi China, and also pound. So 5 currencies are contained by SDR, special drawing right. What is SDR? It is the representative currency of IMF, and also SDR, IMF Reserve Tranche. Reserve Tranche. So there may be a question, which of the following is the part of foreign reserve of India? So there are 4 parts: foreign currency, gold reserve, SDR. What is SDR? SDR is the representative currency of IMF, and it contains dollar, euro, yen, renminbi and pound. Renminbi is the currency of China. Okay, and also IMF reserve tranche. It is the foreign reserve of our country, our Indian country. Then banks to government and public debt managers. It means that if government wants any loan, then it will come to RBI and it will sell, or we can say it will keep government securities as collateral and take money from RBI. It is also the bankers bank. It is also regulator of all banks, regulator of all India financial institution and non-banking financial institution, and data publication and awareness, just like it publishes annual financial stability report. So there may be a question that annual financial stability report is published by, then it will be RBI. Okay, so we will see the all points one by one. First of all, monetary policy. Then in monetary policy there are 2 types of monetary policy. First is quantitative tools, second is qualitative tools. Under quantitative tools, CRR means cash reserve ratio, then statutory SLR. SLR means statutory liquid ratio, repo rate, reverse repo rate, marginal standing facility, then bank rate. We will see one by one all of these. After that, moral suasion, direct action, credit rationing and marginal requirement. We will also see the qualitative tools. So cash reserve ratio, CRR, which is 3% at present. First of all, I will read out the definition of it. After that, I will give you example then that how it works. Then it is the total deposit of banks which a bank has to keep with the central bank, means RBI, in in cash at any point of time. This is 3%. And when CRR is increased, it is called policy of credit squeeze, tight policy, dear policy, hawkish policy or contractionary policy. If it is decreased, then it is easy policy, cheap policy, dovish policy or expansionary policy. Now I am coming to example of CRR. Suppose incoming money to a bank. Here is bank, to a bank deposit is 100 rupees. Now what I am saying, that a bank has now 100 rupees. His total deposit is 100 rupees. Now what will be here? This bank has to keep CRR, 3% CRR with RBI, means 3 rupees will be sent to RBI by any bank which is the SCB, means scheduled commercial bank, and it can give now only 97 rupees in loan. Okay, how much? 97 rupees in loan. Now what I am saying, that if CRR is increased, means I am saying that if CRR becomes 4%, so how much loanable currency stay with any bank? 96 rupees. Okay, if 4 rupees have to keep with RBI, then 96 rupees remain with only banks. Now you can see, before it can give 97 rupees to in loan, now it can give only 96 rupees in loan. If CRR becomes 5%, then 95 rupees may go to economy only. So what is here is being that the whenever I am increasing CRR, the money supply is decreasing. So after, what happen if money supply is decreasing? So I am also taking here one example. For example, I have 5 rupees, not I have 3 person who have 5 rupees, and only one banana is here. So, and what's this rate? 2 rupees. So I will go here and told here, ask seller to give it me at 3 rupee only, and it will come here, he will say that give me 4 rupees. Third person will say and ask seller to give it him 5 rupees. So what is happening here? Inflation is increasing, by which demand is very low, sorry, supply is very low and demand is high, and why demand is high? Due to the increased flow of money. So when I will take money from all of them, if I will take money, and how will I take money from them? By increasing CRR, by which the flow of money in economy will decrease, and all of them have now less rupees, now 3 rupees, 3 rupees, 3 rupees, and now they will no bargain with banana seller. Okay, so it is the concept here. When CRR increased, the supply of money in the economy decreases. Now reverse happen. If CRR decrease, supply of money will increase. When it happens, when inflation is going very high, so CRR is increased. Now when deflation is there, means less than 2% inflation is there, then money supply is increased in economy and CRR is decreased. So here is the meaning of CRR. Now all of the concept like SLR and repo rate, reverse repo rate, all of them are dependent only it. Now I will tell you only the definition of all of these and also some of the example here. So now SLR is statutory liquidity ratio, SLR, which is 18%. What is it? It is the ratio of the total deposit of a bank which it has to maintain with itself, mainly in the form of government security and some liquid cash, and also there may be gold also. Okay, so what was CRR? CRR has to kept with RBI in cash form only, and SLR a bank has to keep SLR with itself in the form of government securities, some liquid cash or gold also. Okay, and what are government securities? Government securities are printed by government. Hey, these securities has the uh, stamp of government. Its guarantees government that if, what is meaning, if you have government security, then you have go to government, and whatever price written on this security, suppose 100 rupees, then it will be given to you. Means whoever is government security, the price will given to him only. Okay, so government securities are of two types. First one is short term, as second is long term. First is short term, second is long term, and we will know go in detail here. It is the different topic. It is also called as gilt security, as gilt security. So government security and some liquid cash. Major objective SLR to enable government to borrow from banking system. So if government want to borrow for any scheme, then it will come to banking system also, and from where it will get any amount of loan? From SLR only. Okay, so it is mainly kept for government borrow only. Now I am coming to SLR also. Now same example, total deposit with bank 100 rupees, CRR 3 rupees, SLR 18 rupees. Now what is the loanable account? 79 only. Okay, so in CRR deposit with RBI without interest means that RBI doesn't pay any interest on CRR, it has to only kept with RBI. Now as what is SLR? Keep in liquid form such as cash, gold, government security, etc. And by giving loan to government, a bank may earn some interest on SLR also. So SLR may provide interest because it is mainly kept to loan the government. And if any bank is giving loan, then it will get interest also. So on SLR, on a statutory liquid ratio, a bank can gain interest. On CRR it is not possible. Okay, so now I am coming to comparison. Here it will be more clear. First of all, CRR and SLR, you know the full form. Now bank must keep this much deposit with RBI. RBI doesn't pay interest on it except in extraordinary circumstances like 1999's banking slowdown. At that time, RBI also gave the interest on the deposit of CRR to banks, but it is not the norms. It never gives interest on CRR. It is only on RBI discretion that it is giving interest to banks on CRR or not. Okay, now SLR, bank must keep this much deposit in liquid assets such as cash, gold, G-Sec, T-bill, treasury bills. Treasury bills is only the type of a government security. Then state development loan bond and other security notified by RBI. Bank and no profit interest. Some profit is, I have told you how any bank earns profit on SLR. Then CRR, first suggested by British economist James Keynes, first introduced in US Federal Reserve, Central Bank of USA, mandated under 1934. RBI 1934, it was mandated that any bank has to keep CRR with RBI, and SLR was created by Banking Regulation Act 1949. Now RBI can fix any amount of CRR legally. There is no minimum floor or maximum ceiling. Presently it is 3%. Okay, presently it is 3% of total deposit. Legally SLR can't be more than 40%. Presently it is 80%. Maximum 40% and minimum 80%, 18%, sorry, 18%. And all scheduled commercial bank must keep CRR. However, RBI may prescribe separate norms left for RRB and cooperative banks also, and similar to this. All the scheduled commercial bank have to keep CRR and SLR also, and for other banks RBI may come out with a notification to keep both of these. Now I am coming to, as CRR SLR counted on fortnightly basis, means on 15 days. If not maintained, bank will have to pay penalty interest rate on RBI, which is linked with the bank rate. I will come to bank rate just after some minutes. So if any bank doesn't go with norms of CRR SLR, then it has to pay interest rate to RBI according to bank rate. Now CRR SLR provide buffer protection during a bank run. What is bank run means? What is the bank run? Suppose it is ICICI. In tomorrow's newspaper it comes like ICI is this bank. No, I am taking SBI because it is very difficult to pronounce. So SBI. In tomorrow's newspaper, suppose a news comes that SBI is going to collapse, or it has been insolvent, it has been declared insolvent, and in next 7 days it will be closed totally. Okay, so now what will be here? All the customers of SBI will come here to demand their deposit, that give me my money which I had deposited in your bank. So this condition is called bank run. What is bank run? When all the customer of banks, or almost all the customer of banks, come at a time to demand their deposit, then this situation is called bank run. Now what happened here? In this situation, if a bank has CRR or SLR, then it can give some amount of deposit to their customers. So for this it is very important. For this purpose also CRR SLR is very important. Now, so bank rate is the standard rate at which RBI buys or rediscount first class securities, bill of exchange or other commercial papers. Now it is this is the simple things. If any bank is keeping its securities or bill of exchange or anything in RBI, then it will get interest on it. Simple thing. Okay, now it is a obscure topic, obscure point, because after the repo rate which was introduced in 2000s, the bank rate has become a dormant tool, not frequently used by the RBI for lending or by banks for borrowing. Okay, so it is the now not a very important topic or important point. Now I am coming to repo rate only. What is its full form? Repurchase option. What is full form? Repurchase option. Now mark the every word here. In India, under liquidity adjustment facility, what is it? LAF, which was brought in 2000. Liquidity adjustment facility means, what is the liquidity? Liquidity here is money flow in the economy. Okay, so how it control the flow of money in economy? So liquidity, it is the liquidity, it is being adjusted by RBI by the tool of repo rate. Okay, so under liquid adjustment facility, to inject liquidity, here liquidity means currency only. Currency means hard currency. Okay, and also hard currency means the notes, the coins in your hand, into the banking system by repurchasing government security lying with banks for a short period. What happens here? That if any bank has government security, and here is RBI, So bank bank has bought it from RBI only, because to sell the government securities is the sole authority of RBI. So banks, what I have told about SLR, and in SLR a bank has to keep government securities, some liquid also. So government securities bought only by RBI. Now in repo rate, what RBI is doing? It is repurchasing the government security. What is RBI doing? It is repurchasing the government security from the bank for a short period. When it repurchases, it lends money to bank. Okay, what will suppose it is a government security of 100 rupees. So RBI will, what will it give? 100 rupees to bank, not 100 rupees here. Suppose the government security is of 100 rupees. Now what will it say? Generally for overnight, means for one day only, and does it inject liquidity in banking system while conducting repo operation. What it means? It means that if a government security which has the face value of 100 rupees, and now I think repo rate is 4%. So what will RBI do? RBI will give only 96 rupees to bank. Means repo rate is just like a, we can say, discounted rate, where the 100 rupee government security and 96 rupees giving to bank. So in repo rate, you can see the money is injecting in economy. Suppose here this bank lies with 1 lakh government securities, it will give to RBI, and RBI give after 4% cut that amount of money to that bank, and it is by this it is injecting the money in the system. Now reverse repo is just reverse of it, where RBI, and here is bank. RBI selling government security and getting money. Means if bank has no money, then less money will go into the economy. If, what I am saying, if bank has less money, then less money will go in the economy, and the inflation will be controlled here. So here it is called reverse repo rate, and it is 3.35% at present, and 3.35% is done only for corona period. Now you can see it by this example. Here is bank, client, who is the client bank, borrows short term fund from RBI for overnight, or means for one day, and using government security as collateral. Means here government security is coming, and here money is coming to bank. And if bank has money, then it will obviously go in the hand of people by loans. Now in reverse repo, RBI borrows short term fund from client using government security collateral. Just reverse the repo rate, that is called reverse repo rate. Okay, now here is the difference. Repo and reverse repo: the interest rate at which RBI lends short term loan to its clients keeping GSEC as collateral. And reverse repo, what is reverse repo? It's the interest rate that clients earn when parking their surplus fund with the RBI for short period. Now client enter in an agreement with RBI to repurchase the GSEC at future date, and same happens here. Repo rate, also called ready forward transaction or also policy rate. What are these? This is repo rate is policy rate. I will tell you in some minutes why it is called policy rate. Then reverse repo rate minus 0.25%. Okay, now I am coming to it. First of all, you will see marginal standing facility. What is marginal standing facility? It is the tool which was introduced in 2011 only. What is it? If any SCB wants more money, then it can use SLR quota government security as collateral, not whole. Means if 18% SLR is there, from this SLR, suppose 15% are in form of government securities. So some percentage of this government security SCB or commercial bank can use to lend from RBI, but this MSF, means marginal standing facility rate, is higher than repo rate, which is plus 0.25%, and reverse repo rate is minus 0.25%. Here is plus 0.25%. Now bank rate, MSF and repo rate. Here is the comparison chart. You can see it was introduced in RBI Act 1934 itself. It was in 2011. It was in 2000, and reverse repo is just inverse of it. What is percent rate? Since 2012 bank rate is equal to MFS percent. MSF, what is MSF? Repo rate minus में plus में x percent is decided by RBI only, and repo rate committee decided monetary policy. So there is a monetary policy committee MPC which decides these rates. Now who can borrow from RBI? Only banks. Here all clients like bank, non-bank, union and state banks. What is called collateral required? Yes and no. Yes, maybe no. Here SLR quota, here GSEC. Loan duration longer than repo, here 14 days, here also overnight. Primary utility nowadays mainly for deciding penalty or errant bank. I have said if any bank is not binding with CRR or SLR or not maintaining CRR or SLR quota, then it is penaltied by bank rate only. Here MSF emergency borrowing. If any bank want more money, then it uses the route of MSF, and repo rate short term borrowing by all clients of RBI. Now what is it? Just see here, repo rate plus 0.5. It is also called basis point, not percentage, basis point in terms of banking. It is MSF, and minus 0.25 reverse repo rate. But in the period of corona, it has been ended. Repo rate is 4%, reverse repo is 3.35%, and MSF is 4%. Okay, so it is not now minus 25%. It has been increased, I think, around minus 0.65%. Okay, here it will be minus 0.65% for corona period, and both of these are called liquidity adjustment facility, and it is called all of three is called policy corridor with width of 0.25 basis, but in corona period it will not be considered. Okay, so there is also an option open market operation. What is done by RBI there RBI buys or sell, either buy or sell union and state government securities to control money supply. Same here, support it is GSEC with RBI. It is selling. If it is selling, so it will get money from bank. If bank has less money, so less money supply in the economy. So what will it do? It will squeeze the money from the economy of our country, and RBI buying means money supply increase. RBI buy कर रही है, RBI खरीद रही है, तो इसका मतलब मनी दे रही है और लिक्विडिटी इंजेक्ट इन द मार्केट. अगर RBI सेल कर रही है गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी को, तो मनी सप्लाई डिक्रीज कर रही है. What I am saying, that if RBI is selling it, if RBI is buying it, then it is increasing the money supply, liquidity injected in the market, and if RBI is selling it, then it is decreasing the money supply or liquidity absorbing from the market by the RBI. So we have done here with monetary policies, all of the monetary policies. Now I am coming here qualitative tools, which are very simple. Now under what are the qualitative tools? While quantitative tools, which we have learned, control the volume of loans or money in the economy. These qualitative tools control the distribution. Okay, suppose a bank is giving loan only to big houses just like Adani Ambani. So what will do our agriculture, our farmers, or we can say destitute people, from where they will get loan? So to control the giving power of banks, giving power of loans of banks, there are qualitative tools. We will see now what are these. First off, moral suasion. What is moral suasion? In moral suasion, meaning applying persuasion without applying punitive measure. In this, the RBI doesn't apply any punitive measure. It only persuade any bank to do work according to norms of RBI, just like via conference, informal meeting, letter, seminar. Example, RBI governor asking bank to transmit repo rate cut, open new branches in rural area, spread financial literacy, etc. It is the moral suasion. They are just trying to persuade the banks by moral or ethics or values. Now, direct action. RBI can punish if any bank is not binding with the norms of RBI or not according to instruction of RBI, then what will RBI can do? RBI can punish bank, even non-banks, for not complying with its directive under RBI Act or whatever act are there. In 2019, RBI ordered the bank to have a clawback. What is means? Provision in their CEO and top executive salaries. Clawback means cut their salaries. If the CEO did any scam, he will have to return his previously paid salaries bonus even if he had retired left the job afterward. Very, we can say, revolutionary step by RBI. Okay. Direct action. Now marginal requirement loan to value means if you are going to take loan from bank of 40 lakh rupees, then there will be marginal requirement. Then bank will say that you have to be for 10% of it, you must have 20% of it. If you are asking for 40 lakh loan, then bank will give only 36 lakhs. If you are asking for 40 lakh, at any time it will also give you only 20 lakh. It is decided by RBI that what will be the marginal requirement on loan to value. Okay, RBI can mandate loan to value for a gold loan, home loan, auto loan, business loan, etc. RBI can change this expression to boost the curve demand. Okay, I think you have understand. I am also saying, I am again telling, I am one example that just like in Muthoot Fincorp companies, you are going to take loan based on gold and you have gold of 1 lakh rupees, but this company will not give you 1 lakh rupees. It may give you 60,000, 80,000, depend on the marginal requirement. Okay, the last one is priority sector lending. What is it? In 1968, first RBI used the word priority sector. Banks must give 40% of their loans. If banks have to give 100 rupees, then 40 rupees will give to agriculture, smart industries and exporter. By 1985, later Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation of India (DICGCI) was set up to facilitate bank lending to priority sector. Now there are many subsectors. Then in agriculture sector, this much must give to this farmer, this much for machines. So that are not important. Only wrote three lectures, three sectors: agriculture, smart industry and exporter. Now I am coming to a ready-made charge. You can read it here. Any question in SSC exam or even in bank exam will be asked from here only. So tools and strategy. As I have told you, in during deflation, all the rates are decreased, by which the money supply increase, inject liquidity, make loan cheaper and increase consumption. Okay, and during inflation, do reverse of it. If CPI is less, if inflation is less than 2% of CPI, then we have to fight, or RBI have to fight with deflation. And if greater than 6% of CPI, then RBI has to fight with inflation. Now CRR, SLR and all the key rates are decreased during deflation, and during inflation these are increased, and it is called easy money dovish expensive supply, and here tied dear Hawkins context money supplier policy. Then if it will be decreases, then what will happen? It will happen. If it will increase, and what will happen? Reverse will happen. Now market operation. RBI buy. When RBI buy government security, then inject money in the market, and if RBI sell, means absorbing money from market. Moral suasion, we have told marginal facility and prices sector lending. All of these topic have been done. It is the ready-made prepared chart. You can see from it here. Policy repo rate 4%, reverse repo 3.35, marginal static facility 4.25, bank rates also CRR 3%, SLR 18%. These are the main policy rates, monetary policy rates. Now I am coming to questions, 2 or 3 questions by which you will have the clarity of this topic. So here is the first question: which of the following is not an instrument of selective credit control? Okay, selective credit control. So pause the video, try to attempt the question, and this is the answer. Cash seizure ratio is not a selective credit control. All of these are form of selective credit control. Now next question is: an increase in the bank rate generally indicates that Again, pause the video, attempt the question. The answer is central bank is following a tight money policy. You can see in here, I had told you during deflation and during inflation it will increase. Okay. So next question and last question is which of them are part of monetary policy? Bank rate, open market operation, public debt and public revenue. So public debt and public revenue are part of fiscal policy which is brought by our government during budget session, and bank rate and open market operation are part of monetary policy. So its answer is 1 and 2 only. So this is the end of our class. So thanks for watching this video and be with me.